comes Seth Hatchell right to the back bumper of the 32. And this has been so hard to pass down here, but Emerson gonna clear Mayato. Not gonna go low. He's gonna try and fake the 48. Travato using the inside lane. Mayato now up half a groove. The second position looks for his first race win. Oh, hard contact. Mayato up in the air, up on the hood, on top of the Geico machine. All over his back bumper, and has to be very tactical with his moves. Oh, and hard under braking. Travato nearly locked it up there. St. Bear's big slide out of turn number 1. Comes Chris Samar, Kevin Cornelius. They're going to make a charge in the third lane. Is it too little, too late? Are they going to have the run out of turn number 4? Mark Emerson down low. They're all going to wreck. Dennis Fairclough in the lead right now. Here comes Nick Gardner. Hello and welcome to the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series live tonight for the Shenandoah Shine 200 from Darlington Raceway. Race number 5 here this season, season number 4 in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. Tonight, I'm joined in the booth with Zach Halpern. Zach, what are you looking forward to here tonight from this old NASCAR track?
Darlington always provides really good racing, and a lot of times it can come down to strategy, like we saw a couple weeks ago in the VRL league that is broadcasted on Wednesday nights. And it can all come down to strategy or just playing out who's fastest, and it's really good at racing, and I always enjoy it.
Yeah, and drivers going to have to try and avoid that oh-so-famous Darlington stripe. This track known as the Lady in Black, just because it's so easy to get up into that wall out of these corners. Even the fastest drivers here tonight have been struggling with that, as we see Alec Martinez with some damage there on the back stretch. It's going to be a tricky race tonight. The track temp is really, really high, and it's not a short race by any means. 150 laps around here. That is going to be a challenge for a lot of these drivers to complete this race. And the stage break at lap 50 will provide some relief, I'm sure, but it is going to be a tricky one. So let's take a look actually at the track condition. 90-degree air temp and 133-degree track temp as these drivers wrapping up the practice session. We'll head to qualifying now. And yeah, now it resets to 130-degree track temp. But that is going to be pretty tricky for sure. That's a really high track temp. Get onto the track now. Chris Samard pulls onto the speedway. They begin the qualifying session. They'll have to qualify in the first 5 minutes. They head to drivers' meeting. What the fast lap times are going to be here. Alec Martinez was quickest in practice, and he's going to be looking to back that up. Only his second race, but he ran second last week. Nearly had the shot at the win at a track that runs a little bit closely to this one, Rockingham. But I think the same guys who really had success last week are going to have that same success this week. What are your thoughts on that, Zach?
Yeah, you mentioned that Rockingham is very similar to Darlington, and there are a lot of similarities between the two tracks. The one thing about Darlington that makes it, I honestly think, a little more difficult than Rockingham is I feel like it's not as maneuverable as Rockingham. I think Rockingham, you have a little bit more room to make a mistake and you're not going to hit that wall, but Darlington, a lot of times you see these drivers running right up against that wall for 3 and 4, and once you get sucked up into it once, it keeps finding it, and that little damage can really hurt you on the straightaways.
Yeah, every bit of aerodynamic damage that you get, a disadvantage. Chris Savard does a little rub up in 3 and 4 as he tried to improve his lap time, couldn't do so. Zach Carr to the top of the board with a 29:31. That is a great lap time here in here in qualifying. Fastest times we saw in practice were down in the 2s, but I think that was a little bit of draft list. But he'll go to the top 29:31. Seth Hatchell second Seth, I believe, was outside the top 10 in lap times in practice. A good improvement for him. Mayato now to the top of the board, the 29.305. So the driver of the 36, who was pretty sporty last week at Rockingham, currently fastest. Now Alec Martinez, though, gonna roll on to the racetrack. Let's go on board with him as he gets up to speed. See what kind of lap time he can put down. I did some practice out here before the race just to see what the car felt like, and it is definitely a handful, especially on this end of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. Here, Alec just partially on that throttle, kind of guiding it through a controlled slide, but he gets a little touch on the wall, and it looks like he'll come to a stop and probably reset for his second attempt. So a mistake there from a driver who's definitely pushing to get a good lap time. Cody Adkins on the racetrack. Big slide right there out of turn 2. He's going to slam the wall and hard in the inside wall. 71 of Lane Sulford's looking to improve. Not going to be able to do so on his second lap. Ryan Gemmel was pretty quick in practice, so he's not on the racetrack. Alec Martinez out here for a second attempt. Actually, it looks like he made a mistake. He's only got 1 minute left to get that lap in, so he's going to have to get rolling here pretty fast. He may not make it back around. I mean, even just watching qualifying, it's been tricky here tonight. This is going to be a very interesting race to see who saves the tires, who's good on those long runs. They'll only have 4 sets of tires for 150 laps, which more than they've been given for most other races, but tonight they are going to need every single set. I'm sure they'll take opportunities to change those whenever a caution comes out. Alec Martinez through 1 and 2. Good run that time out of turn 2. Down the back stretch, headed towards turn 3. Careful to stay off that outside wall, right up against it, but able to keep it off. And a little wiggle there out of turn 4. He'll run a 29.273. That'll shoot him to second as AJ Stravato with a 29.216. Over half a tenth faster than anybody else. As the provisional pole, nobody else can be able to take a pole time or a qualifying time here as drivers meeting has started. So AJ Stravato looking like he's got the pole after winning last week at Rockingham. Running off up front here tonight. We're going to head to a quick commercial break and be right back with the starting grid. The most challenging issue veterans face is reintegrating back into civilian life. This is increasingly hard with combat veterans that have witnessed the brutal environments of war. The issues they face include the sense of not having a purpose, the lack of camaraderie, and no longer being on a team. Adrenaline Therapy's mission is to bring veterans out of their element and introduce them to the fun and relaxation of the off-road. This is a way to help make these veterans feel a part of something again. This is what we call Adrenaline Therapy. Doing so, our goal is to help eliminate the 22-a-day epidemic of veteran suicide. Learn more by visiting outlawdesertracing.com/adrenaline therapy.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing and specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
Back at the racetrack now with our starting grid for tonight's race, the Shenandoah Shine 200 at Darlington. Rolling off from the front row, it's going to be AJ Stravato with the pole. Great lap time there, 29.216. He'll be flanked to his outside by Alec Martinez, starting in the second position. Starting in third tonight, it'll be Keith Mayato, and rolling off fourth, it'll be Zach Carr. Starting in the fifth position, it'll be Seth Hatchell, the number 8 machine, and in sixth, Angelo Ronis. Pulling off from 7th, Alex Pelican, and starting to his outside, it'll be Safe Perez in the 44. Starting in 9th, it'll be Jeremy Miller in the 30 machine, and rounding out the top 10, it'll be Ryan Gemmel. Starting in 11th, it'll be Chris Samard, the 37 machine. Pulling off 12th, it'll be Anthony Pelican. Starting in the 13th spot tonight, it'll be Reggie Ortega, and in 14th, Dennis Faircloth. Starting in 15th, it'll be Dallas Sullivan. His outside, James Loveland. Starting in the 17th position, it will be Michael Newman. Rolling off 18th, Alan Dice. Starting 19th, it'll be Eric Hutton and Jeremiah Vincent, rounding out the top 20.
Starting in 21st tonight will be brother Josiah Vincent. In 22nd, we have Mark Beverly. 23rd, Lane Solfridge. 24th, Tony Baird. 25th, Garen Wolfenbarger. 26th, Bradley Wilson. 27th, Eric Lambert. 28th, Timmy Emanuele. 29th, Lyle Solfridge. 30th, Joshua Abbey. 31st, Jacob Houston, 32nd, Cody Atkins, 33rd, Nick Starling, and rounding out our 34 car field tonight will be Zach Smith.
A good size field here tonight. Should be a very fun event. Darlington Raceway, one of the oldest tracks in NASCAR. This egg-shaped oval, been a site of so many amazing finishes and races over the years, and hoping for another one here tonight. About to get things going. It'll be AJ Servato and Alec Martinez. Finished 1-2 last week, starting 1-2 this week. Big tire spin from both of them, but they're off and away. Oh, we've got cars spinning farther back. That was Michael Newman down into the wall. And he comes to a complete stop. Gets rolling again. I saw another car. I think Tony Baird caught the outside wall. But we are completing lap number 1. It's going to be Alec Martinez with the race lead, leading them back into turn number 1. AJ Stravato right there on his back bumper as they created about a 4 or 5 car length gap back to, that is Zach Carr in the 27 machine trying to chase them down. Keep my auto, Seth Hatchell, caution out on the racetrack. Tony Baird involved in this one, the 98 around. Perhaps a few others. I think Zach Smith also collected in this one. So caution coming out right away here at Darlington.
We saw on that restart just how loose it was down on that bottom, and still even on the top. We saw the leader, AJ Stravato, lose the lead to getting loose, and it looks like further back in the pack with this dirty air, it's going to be even worse, and that's probably what resulted in this caution tonight.
98 went into the corner side by side with Cody Adkins, and Cody gets big damage, a big hit there for them. Zach Smith unable to avoid the carnage in front of him. There was really nowhere for him to go as those cars bounced off the wall. Jacob Houston just barely squeaking by that one. Good job with the wreck avoidance right there as we go on board with him. Oh, got a little bit lucky, I think, with the right front. May have actually made some contact with Cody Adkins, but just kind of a glancing hit there, not too bad. Caution number 1 coming out here straight away, and this will help guys get closer to making it on fuel. I know they were going to be just a bit short to make it to the stage break at lap 50. Actually about 9 laps short, so every caution lap they run, they'll save about 1 lap of fuel. So they'll need, I think, 1 more yellow flag to be able to stretch it the distance, but this is definitely going to help.
Yeah, when you're just short on fuel like that by 9 laps, you know that you're going to have at least 1 caution if you want to pull off the strategy of saving to try and make it to the end of the stage. And I do think that there are going to be some drivers taking it a little bit easier now, trying to conserve some gas, maybe not getting all the way down the throttle, down the straightaways to make it to the end of the stage. But the risk you run with that is you fall back into the pack. And if the caution comes out and you're now in 20th instead of 10th, you just lost a lot of track position, and your strategy is now out the window.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different approaches to tonight's race with the 4 sets of tires and the tire wear and fall off that we've seen in practice and qualifying tonight. Drivers are probably trying to calculate this point and going to try and run this race almost backwards. But I think we're going to have a lot of unexpected twists and turns with cautions coming out tonight. So that'll throw a wrench in some drivers' plans. We'll see how things go. If we get any kind of long green flag stretches and who's able to really maintain their equipment clean and keep the tires on it, because that's going to be the key, I think, to winning tonight's race. As the field gets double filed back up, getting ready to go. It'll be Alec Martinez in control. He elects to take the inside lane, where we saw AJ Stravato struggle mightily on the initial start. I think Alec really had the lead. He had the race in his hands down into turn number 1. AJ was not even going to be able to contend for it. So got to be smooth on these restarts. You're on that front row. And going down into turn 1 side by side is dangerous enough as is, and tonight is going to be Pretty tricky doing so as the pace car rolls off. It'll be Alec Martinez. Waiting. There he goes. Green flag back in the air. Pretty smooth restart by most of the field here. They stack up a little bit farther back. Dallas Sullivan down on the apron. And a few others. That's the 51 of Bradley Wilson as Dallas Sullivan still stuck down there, trying to find his way back up into the racing groove. And we've got cars spinning. Flipping over is the 71. And that escalated quickly.
Yeah, it's looking like these drivers are having a really difficult time with the setup tonight. The hot temperatures and the loose setup just don't always go well together. And I'm sure as the night goes on, these drivers will hopefully figure things out. But another early caution will help out these drivers make it to the end of the stage.
Taking a look here with Lane Sulford's 71 car, as it looks like up in front of him, they scattered. There was a car already around, actually. That was James Loveland, spun it out and stayed off the inside wall, but he got into the door. I think that was Alan Dice. Either way, they go down into the corner. Lane Sulfridge is right up behind Timmy Emanuele. He gets loose, trying to hang on to it, corrects. Oh, and wow, what a gnarly crash. He got hooked into the wall, or kind of overcorrected into the wall. It just stuck to him like glue, and he went flipping. And also hit by Michael Newman as he drove on past. Michael looks like he's escaped with just some left front damage, which I think he already had. But this will bring some drivers to pit lane. About 5-10 drivers led by Anthony Pelican. Sorry, Michael Newman is leading them down pit lane. Anthony Pelican looks like he started from the pit road, so he is gonna have some issues with his scoring and timing tonight. But he rides currently in 25th position. Yeah, it is crazy loose out there. We can tell even just from getting going. These guys may have to restart in 3rd or 4th gear to really get off the line.
And this brings all back to qualifying. Qualifying up front at a track like Darlington is really important, not only because it's hard to pass here, but we see how dangerous it is further back in the pack, and with 2 cautions within the first 10 laps, qualifying up front right now really looks like it has its benefits compared to usual.
Yeah, I mean, track position's always important, but it is definitely looking especially important here tonight. Darlington too tough to tame, and so far it has been that way. With the first 9 laps, 2 yellow flags already. They'll go side by side to get ready for the next restart. We'll see if this one goes any better. They're going to be pretty close on fuel at this point. Some drivers may be able to stretch it from here if we go green, but I don't think that's going to be the case the way things have already gone. So see if they can clean it up, see if we get a green flag run in. Alec Martinez again in control. AJ Stravado's been shuffled back to 3rd. The Zach car will be restarting on the inside. 2-time winner this season on the inside there. AJ Stravado, last week's winner. Keith Maotto, who's been in the running for many races, right up there in the 4th position. And Seth Hatchell, last year's champion, going to restart 5th. Green flag in the air, back underway. We see these guys very conservative now on the restart, especially farther back in the pack. No issues that time, but down into turn 1 they go. Alec Martinez 6 car lengths ahead. Zach Carr, though, really good run here out of turn 2. He's going to close that back up just a bit.
We see the 57 car fall way out of line after getting loose on turn 2. He's going to try and fall back in, but he's going to be down the apron going into turn 3. Not a place you want to be. He's going to continue to fall back into the pack.
Yeah, he gets back into the racing groove, but Timmy Emanuele now looking to strike as he looks to the inside here down the front straightaway. This battle for 20th as Timmy goes down low, Allen up high. They keep it clean there. Eric Hutton struggling a little bit farther up as he's in front of Chris Samard, Bradley Wilson, and others. And yeah, a lot of cars slipping and sliding out of turn number 2. A couple drivers keeping it straight, though. Those are the top 2. Maiato has moved to 3rd, and AJ Stravato has fallen back to 5th. So AJ, the pole sitter, has not led a lap yet tonight, and he is already back to the latter part of the top 5. As up at the front, though, Zach Carr putting a lot of pressure on Alec Martinez. Half a car length the difference down the backstretch. See when he makes his move, if he decides to make a move at all, but might feel comfortable just running in the wake. Yellow flag flying again. That's the 15. Mark Beverly going around. We saw he had some issues on one of the restarts before. Heavy left side damage as caution number 3 out on the speedway. Let's take a look. Looks like a classic case of getting in the throttle a little bit too hard, a little too early out of turn 2. Car didn't quite rotate around for him. He pancakes the outside wall and then hard into the inside wall and locks the brakes down, and just close enough to the racing groove. iRacing felt it right to throw the yellow flag, but only a single car accident there as Mark limping that car back up to the tail end of the pack. Cody Adkins already out of this race after that hard impact early. Lane Sulfridge sitting up pit road now for about 6 minutes after his flip. And here comes Tony Baird and Mark Beverly. A handful of others. Nick Starling going to bring it down. Michael Newman. Zach Smith. Guy's probably just topping up on fuel. Maybe taking an additional set of tires. Definitely a chaotic start to tonight's race here at Darlington. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and be right back.
Simulators Anonymous is an online gaming community. The heart of this community is playing simulator-style games, everything from driving, farming, flying, to the occasional survival game. We would love for you to join us. If you play these style of games, or if you're just looking for a great community, we strive to be a community you can be an active participant in by offering events like every third Saturday night is a late night trucking on Truckers MP. We have a very own Minecraft server and with other servers starting soon. Come join Simulators Anonymous today at www.simulatorsanonymous.com.
Boston Web Marketing is New England's largest full-service web marketing company specializing in SEO, SEM, website design, social media management, reputation management, and more. Founded in 2009, we have rapidly expanded and are able to service small to large clients nationally as well as worldwide. We are a long-standing Google partner with a large team of SEO specialists, certified AdWords professionals, web designers, social media experts, and web marketing gurus. Our team provides excellent, knowledgeable, and highly effective web marketing services. Contact us today to get started. 617-676-8109. www.getfoundquick.com.
Watch your Element sign reading weekly on Sailor Tarot Magic's YouTube to answer all of your love and career questions. Call to schedule your personal reading at 732-314-0777.
All right, and back at the racetrack now, side by side, getting ready for another restart. It'll be Alec Martinez and Zach Carr on the front row. So we'll see if we can last any longer this time. It's been about, I think 3 laps has been the longest run. And the other 2 runs have been less than a half lap. We'll see if they can do a little bit better this time and get a few more green flag laps in. A few drivers already damaged and behind the wall. Lane Sulfridge, Cody Adkins both out of the race. Mark Beverly's been up pit road for over 3 minutes now. And still have 31 cars on the lead lap, but quite a few damaged outside the top 25. So they're going to struggle back there, but the leaders getting ready to get us going once again. Alec Martinez takes the inside this time, trying to figure things out, I'm sure. He'll hold them up. There we go, green flag, a little spinning of the tires by the 27. Alec Martinez off and away once again, 4 car lengths in hand. Dive down into turn number 1. Battling side by side back here, Nick Starling going to move up past Lyle Sulfridge and Michael Newman making that move as well. Saw battling between Keith Mayato and Zach Carr as Mayato takes second. Zach Carr with spinning the tires on that restart. He'll drop to third. Seth Hatchell, AJ Stravato, the top 5. Angelo Ronas, Safe Ferris, Jeremy Miller, Reggie Ortega, and Alex Pelican, the top 10 as we complete 1 lap there under green. Single file for most of the pack. Look around, just trying to see if there's any double file. These guys have probably figured it out at this point. Gonna be tough to run side by side as Timmy Emanuele, a big slide down the racetrack in the 21st position. Ryan Gemmel's gonna slip past him.
21 car of Alexander Pelican slips right underneath the 22 car of Reggie Ortega after a little slip up out of turn 4. Saw a 22 car get a loose. They're gonna get very close to each other and almost door bang. But we're going to see who has the runoff here off of turn 2. It looks like the 22 will. He hits the wall and taps the 21. Big stack up, but they managed to keep it green.
Yeah, Dennis Faircloth right in the back of Reggie Ortega. That's kind of what happens, though, going side by side out of turn 2. They're still side by side 3 and 4. And Jeremiah Vincent now with Eric Hutton to his outside. This is going to get crazy if they try and do it once again. They're still neck and neck down into turn 1. Nobody is backing out of it. As Reggie Ortega trying to keep the momentum up on the high side, he'll complete the pass, and that's going to really affect Alex Pelican as he tries to find his footing out of turn number 2. Gets clear of the 80, but guys did not survive without some scratches. There's some significant damage on these 4 or 5 cars in this pack.
It's so difficult following drivers into and out of a corner. You have to be wary of them hitting the wall, and there's a lot of times, like you mentioned, no place for you to go when they do hit that wall.
I think we just had a car possibly go around, and there goes one right now. That's Timmy Emanuele off the nose of Anthony Pelican, I believe. He's able to hang on to it. The Golf machine down there on the apron, though, and behind him, still chaos. Joshua Abbey goes shooting down the racetrack. He'll get a good run, though, on the 39. Now he tries to send it into turn 3. Timmy, though, with the momentum up high, be able to hold on to that. Meanwhile, at the front, the top 4 single file, nose to tail, trying to keep the car on the racetrack, I'm sure, is really the number 1 focus. Mayato, though, he's got his sights set maybe on making a move down here into turn 3. Peaks low, not able to get there. Alec Martinez hanging on to that top spot. You usually say race the racetrack at road courses and, don't race the other drivers. That's also the case at Darlington. This is the most difficult oval that I believe NASCAR goes to. Such a narrow racing groove. Here goes a look by the 88 down to the inside. And that is actually going to cost him as the 51 up in the wall stacks up the 32 of Wolfenbarger, the teammates there for Shenandoah Shine. And Eric Hutton can't get the drive out of turn 4, but he's going to get turned by the 51. And spinning a whirling dervish move there as he comes back into the racing surface. He's going to get slammed from behind by the 5 of Joshua Abbey, knocked into the air. And Michael Newman involved in that one as well. That is a messy crash right there.
And further up, the 80 and the 9 are also wrecking as well.
Oh man, just chaos everywhere here tonight. Let's go back and start with the 88. Then we'll look at what happened to Dennis Faircloth and Jeremiah Vincent. So a couple of synchronized incidents there. The 51 catches the outside wall, trying to make that move on Hutton. Gets up into the wall, a little bump right there as the wall's not really straight here. Hits the 88, spins him down into the wall. Eric Hutton hard impact with the nose of that race car. And the 5 of Joshua Abbey just probably couldn't even tell what was going on right there. Let's come on board with him. Find Timmy Emanuele, and then, yeah, just peeks out of line, almost able to avoid him. But gets into the tail of the 88. Also, Michael Newman, same situation. Let's see what happened to the 80 and the 9 as they were wrecking. Dennis goes up into the wall and again bounces off of it and then catches the 9 of Jeremiah Vincent, who goes nose first into the outside barrier. And that was pretty much related to that first crash. It just took the whole turns 1 and 2 to really develop. And that is unfortunate for both of those drivers, who will have heavy damage. Dennis Faircloth with a lot of nose damage already. That is the hit right there by Jeremiah Vincent. Car gets up off the ground. He'll pull it into pit lane. Top 15 will stay out. Everyone else comes in. Shenandoah Shine machines in the Shenandoah Shine race with big damage. What were you going to say, Zach?
If you like wrecks, so far this has been your race. Normally you don't tune in to Darlington for the big wrecks, but we've had a couple of big ones already.
I mean, we've had cars flying through the air, a few different impacts there, and has been a very rough start to this one, but the field is getting whittled away, and there are going to be far fewer competitive race cars, as I think now we'll have about 18 pretty much undamaged cars. Everybody else going to have pretty significant damage, and probably going to be out of a competitive shot at winning this thing. So guys up front, they're probably loving what they're seeing, though. They can save the tires, they can save the fuel. Cuts this first run kind of in half in terms of, you know, trying to drive the wheels off of it. So this is helping them immensely, and then everybody else just trying to survive back there.
And for these cars that are already heavily damaged or just a little damaged, you might not be able to win this race off of pure speed anymore, but you can just try to manage what you can out of this race and make up any positions that you can. With these wrecks that are going on, we see as each one happens, another driver goes down a lap, another driver gets significant damage. If you can repair your damage and just mind your time on pit road, you can really gain a couple of spots, which can help you later on in the season.
And 4 drivers already taking it behind the wall. Mark Beverly pulls it back on the racetrack. He is going to be 13 laps down. He has the chance to make up a few here in the next 5 to 10 laps. A few other drivers like Eric Hutton, who obviously took a huge impact there, Joshua Abbey, and Dennis Faircloth, they have all been on pit road for over 2 minutes. Jeremiah Vincent still able to continue on after sitting on pit road for almost 2 minutes. He's just 1 lap down, the only car 1 lap down. So he'll be hoping for a yellow to get him back on the lead lap in that lucky dog position, and he's hoping that engine holds up the rest of the way. Yeah, you're right. Every opportunity to keep driving out there, every lap you complete is going to be probably a chance at another position, no matter where you're at in the field. There's going to be more and more cars taking hits like we've seen. Alec Martinez in control on this restart again. He'll be on the inside. And Keith Mayato up there on his outside. Going to have a shot at a restart here, see if he can get any kind of a jump on the 18. Pace car onto pit road, waiting on the 18. There he goes, spinning the tires from the inside groove. So is Zach Carr and AJ Stravato all spinning tires. Mayato still to the outside of the 18. Got a good drive, but he'll settle back into second. Alec Martinez takes over that spot. Side by side, though, it was AJ Stravato and Angelo Ronis, and AJ now falling to 6th. He has really not been in the preferred groove for most of these restarts. on board here with a few different cars. We saw Alex Pelican with some right side damage. Ryan Gemmel started 10th. He faded towards the back early in this, and right now fighting in 12th, trying to put a move on his teammate Chris Samard. Pretty much single file for the moment. Some of these guys farther back making contact with the wall. That's Dallas Sullivan and Eric Lambert, both catching the outside barrier. Nick Starling just hanging tough back here. Started 33rd. He is in 16th, so 17 spots gained. His car still as clean as can be, even though all of his chaos has been happening right around him. Eric Lambert hard in the outside wall out of turn 2. Here goes Nick. He'll look to the outside. Try to take that spot away. The 3 down low. Jimmy Emanuele starting to work forward as well. Back up to 17th after starting 28th. Yeah, these guys just trying to survive to the end of the stage up at the front. And I don't think anyone's making a move until there's a big mistake by the car in front of them.
You're right, Adam. We can see these drivers being a little bit more tentative in their approach right now towards this track, and probably a result of those first couple of cautions. It's been pretty difficult for these drivers. Over the radio, I've just heard a lot of complaining and being upset about how this car's handling, and nothing you can do at this point other than drive it around and try to make up positions when you can.
Yeah, it's like some of the kind of vintage NASCAR races where there were tire problems. I think the race at Indy comes to mind. Also a race at Charlotte where they were, the cars were so prone to blowing tires in a short amount of time. The drivers had to just deal with it. It's what you've got. So you got to make it work for you. And right now, Alec Martinez doing just that. He has led, I think, pretty much every lap at this point. Yeah, 33 laps led. He has a good feel for what this race car is doing, but those drivers behind him look pretty hungry. They're not letting him go, as the gap is just a car length or so between the top 3. Chris Samard starting to look to the inside of Josiah Vincent and didn't make the move there. Ryan Gemmel now closing in just a car length behind his teammate. Only the top driver at the stage break gets a playoff point. Nobody else going to get any kind of bonus. So important to win this stage if you want that, as we see Seth Hatchell make a move now to the inside of Zach Carr. Gate can't quite get the drive through 3 and 4, as we've got a car on the apron. Trying to see who that is. That is the 15 of Mark Beverly, so a lap car. Like a dangerous situation for a moment there. Single file among the leaders. I don't think there's really any battles going on too far back either. The closest one really is between Samard and Gemmel, as here goes Josiah Vincent now going to look to the inside of Alex Pelican. And in the wall is Safe Ferris and the 21. Josiah going to be able to clear Pelican, but he may try and cross him over. Nope, stays in line. That is what happens when you start looking in that mirror. See those cars closing in or starting to make those moves. You start making mistakes at a track like this. Let's look at the run by Josiah Vincent. Big charge down the back straightaway. He'll go to the inside. Safe Fair's in the wall before they even hit the corner. And he might be in danger of losing another one now to Alex Pelican as they race side by side out of turn 4. Safe giving up spots here towards the end of stage number 1. At the front, Mayato looks to the inside of Alec Martinez, doesn't make it stick. That 36 car chomping at the bit to try and make that move.
Tire management, just such an important factor here. Even as the leader, you kind of want to mind the gap between you and the second place car. You don't want to just pull away. A lot of times you get tricked into thinking you're way faster in the field by pulling away, when in reality, the guys behind you are saving tires. And I think that Alec Martinez is doing a great job right now of saving on this first green flag run that we're having. And right now, the only competition he looks to have is that 36 car, Keith Mayato, but he's going to have to push his stuff if he wants to get by Alec, who's been in the lead since the green flag dropped, other than qualifying in second. And looking good here at the very beginning of this race.
He was very strong last week in his debut here in the Cup Series, and following that up with arguably also being the fastest car in the field this week. The top 4 have broken away. AJ Servato moves to 5th now after passing Angelo Ronas. He'll set his sights on closing that 1.3 second margin up to Seth Hatchell, but that is quite a large distance. And now Angelo Ronas falling towards Jeremy Miller, who has run consistently right here in the top 10 for this race. Dave Ferris has fallen out of the top 10 as both of the V-Speed machines move past him. Now Nick Starling, who's charged through the field, he is starting to work on the back of that 44. They go through 1 and 2, the Raccoon Trash Panda machine. Trying to track down the Red Speed Ford Mustang. And he's going to look to the inside here, headed towards turn 3. Safe is just going to
Trouble in the back stretch. The 57 and 22 of Reggie Ortega get together.
Big damage on the Virtual Racing Machine, or Virtual Racing League Chevy Camaro. Bring out another one here late in stage number 1. This could shake some things up with the strategy. Let's take a look. A hard hit for these two drivers. Alan Dice right there in front of the 22. Gets loose, bounces off the outside wall, and then drives the 22 down into the inside barrier, and really hard hit for both drivers. And Alan Dice is taking it behind the wall already. Reggie Ortega able to continue on, but he's going to have significant nose damage. Let's keep an eye on the leaders. Are they going to bring it in? Nope, they stay out. Dave Ferris is bringing it in. He's got that right side damage now. James Loveland will come in, Zach Smith, Reggie Ortega. Like Eric Lambert brings it into pit lane as well. He is already a lap down though, so he may have brought it in the previous lap.
I'm surprised not to see someone in the top 10 possibly take that opportunity to go down pit road. If there's no other caution here before the end of the stage, it will go to the end at 50, and you can have that opportunity to start up front instead of being in 10th or 15th in that range. Everyone else will have to pit, and you have already taken tires. You will have a tire disadvantage, but we've seen that track position has been very important tonight with all these cautions.
Yeah, and I think the clean air of being out in front also is a huge benefit. You don't have to push as hard. Your tires don't get quite as hot. And it's been working for Alec Martinez so far, and we know Alec is smooth and consistent and very good at saving his stuff, but clean air is definitely not going to hurt you. It'll definitely be an advantage over running farther back, so I am a bit surprised as well. I thought one of the top 10 would come in. The highest running driver was Safe Ferris. As he rolls off now, he'll be 19th. But if about half those guys in the top 10 had come down, it would have really shaken things up, and they would have had a huge advantage over the leaders who are on those old tires. We work under the 5th caution. There haven't been any lead changes other than at the very start where AJ Stravato led him to the line, and Alec Martinez took over, headed into turn number 1, and leading the way ever since. And 5 cautions helping him to maintain that race lead. Stravato will have another opportunity on this restart. We might be able to get to him. He did a really good job on the last start, just not quite able to keep it alongside into turn 1. That was probably more of a racing decision. You don't want to go in there like that, but got an opportunity at that stage win. I would try and take it here.
Playoff points can be very crucial when the playoffs do come, and these drivers like Alec Martinez, Keith Mayato, Zach Carr, Seth Hatchell, the whole top 5, we're very accustomed to seeing them being successful, whether it be here or in other leagues. And one bad race from a possible wreck going for a stage win might hurt them now, but if they do get that stage win and that playoff point, it can really help them with this very tight field and talent this year.
Yeah, and with the rules change, only the stage winner, and there's only one stage per race, those playoff points, there's going to be less of them to go around. So if you can get one from a stage, that is going to be huge for sure. Alec Martinez, he'll try and hang on here. It'll be 5 to go. The end of stage number 1. The Nexus Sports number 18, Splash and Go Toyota Camry. He'll lead them. He picks the inside lane. Out of the V-Speed Camaro. That car in the Car Racing Designs machine. Seth Hatchell, V-Speed Camaro, and AJ Stravato, your top 5. We'll see who makes it to the start-finish line first. Start of lap 51. Right now, it'll be Alec Martinez waiting to get him rolling. There he goes. Good jump down low as, they spin the tires behind him. And Mayato not quite the run he needed. Zach Carr might be looking to the inside in turn 1. Keith able to hold him off for the moment, though, as they'll go single file through the corner. Alec Martinez out in front by 10 car lengths. Just a few laps to go. This looks like his stage to lose. AJ Stravato side by side with Angelo Ronas. We saw Angelo get past AJ on the restart. Time out of turn 4. He's got the leverage on the high side, but AJ's not going to back out of it. He sends it into turn 1. That'll check both of them up, though, and Angelo Ronas able to carry the momentum through the corner. He'll take over 5th. And AJ has to check up big time. Does Jeremy Miller start to make a move? No, he'll stay in line. Front still 6.5 tenths from Alec Martinez to Keith Mayato. And Keith had an opportunity. It was before the restart. He's not going to be able to catch him at this point unless Alec makes a big mistake. Right now, they're pretty much matching lap times. Farther back, everybody's single file. I don't see any fresh tires working their way through the field other than Nick Starling, who I think he just topped up on fuel, but he's got a really fast race car right now, up to 12th as Dallas Sullivan tags the wall behind him. Dallas still running that throwback number 46. The gap.
It looks like these drivers are just gonna kind of take its content until the end of the stage and work on this next stage.
Yeah, they're just cruising right now. It'll be 1 to go to the end of the stage for Alec Martinez, who's now extended the lead over 8 tenths to Keith Mayato, and just his second race here. It looks like he's on his way to a stage win. Already so successful in the Xfinity Series in this league. See him have success over in VRL, and he is definitely picking up right where he left off last week, and he's got the fastest car here tonight. At least right now, almost a second out in front of Keith Mayato, who's going to easily take second in the stage, but no bonus for any of these spots behind first. Out of turn 4, Alec Martinez across the line. He'll win stage number 1. The yellow flag should fly here. There it is. Stage 1 comes to a close. This will be our 6th caution. Time for the stage. Alec Martinez leads from the start to the end of that stage. Even though he rolled off the grid in second, he took the lead in turn 1 and hasn't looked back. We'll talk to him after a quick commercial break, and these guys are going to be starting pit stops here in just a moment. We'll go side by side and right back.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
All right, and we are back at the racetrack. We would have pulled Alec Martinez up, but he's not available at the moment. Let's see if we get my auto up in, and currently our race leaders. We get the one to go this time. Keith Maotto, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Well, Keith, you've got the race lead now for the start of stage number 2. You were trying to track down Alec Martinez, very competitive with him during that stretch. How's the car feeling, and what are you going to do here in stage 2? Like, what's the strategy?
Hopefully I can stay up front here, and hopefully clean air will maybe just balance the car out a little bit better. It was a little tight on entry behind Alec, and just it's loose off, so it's hard to make those runs and drive it in there like I would want to. So it's on the edge. So hopefully I can keep it up front here.
Yeah, I think on the edge is an understatement. We've seen guys sliding all over the place, but done a great job up here in the top 5 so far. Now the race leader. Good luck here in stage 2.
Thanks, Adam.
Otto trying to keep it clean, keep the tires on, keep that fresh air. His control. We're going to get going here. Alec Martinez now to the outside as Maotto has control of this one. There we go. Green flag back in the air. Spinning the tires is Zach Carr. And Maotto gets a good jump. 3 car lengths in hand over that second place battle. They go into turn 1. Alec Martinez not going to lift up high. Zach Carr backs out of it. Alec will hold on to second. As we only have 20 cars on the lead lap. I think maybe some issues for Safe Ferris back here. 15th position. He loses a couple spots on that restart. Out in front, Keith Maotto. He'll lead him to the line under green. Alec Martinez 2 or 3 car lengths behind, and no real side-by-side battles inside the top 10. Guys, probably just going to try and survive. It's been a race of attrition. Look at that big slide from Nick Starling as now Jeremiah Vincent closing in. For Jeremiah had a head-on impact with the outside wall, so he has recovered nicely in 13th right now. And you can see right there just how loose it is for Jeremiah. Big wiggle out of turn 2. James Loveland behind him, who's had his fair share of issues tonight as well in 14th. And they're pretty spread out as you get outside the top 10, but those guys up there, they are running neck and neck as Alec Martinez looked to the inside of Maotto. Couldn't quite get the run here in 1 and 2. That 18 car hungry to get back out in front. He knows he's got a car that can win this race. Clean air could be key to doing it. Jeremy Miller looking to the inside of Chris Samard. That is for 9th and 10th. He'll have the nose down in there. Who's going to back out? Samard will back out. They'll give it to Jeremy Miller, and Josiah Vincent now try and strike the 37. Did not have the grip out of turn 2. He loses 4 or 5 car lengths right there.
You see these drivers just kind of taking a single file right now, not trying to cause a caution like we've seen already. And you see just how close they still get to that wall in 3 and 4. They're almost kissing it with their right side. And we see on some of these other cars, like the 21 car, he's gotten into that wall already. He has that infamous Darlington stripe already on his car.
Yeah, Alec Martinez even has a little bit of damage on the right front. I think he just tagged the wall in turn 1 last time around. He's lost a few car legs to Mayato. He had been looking to make the move, but yeah, right now just kind of doing what Alec Martinez does and kind of hanging tough here, waiting for the tires to come to him. And he's right now holding up the rest of these drivers. We'll see if Zach Carr is going to try and make a move at any point, because he is right there, definitely on the bumper. It's going to be tough to make any kind of a pass here tonight with how loose these cars are.
Yeah, we've seen these drivers try to go down to the inside, and it just doesn't work. The car gets a little bit too loose, and you can't really complete the pass, and the guy on the outside is just able to hold the momentum a little bit more from entering the turn and carry that speed off. So you're really relying on the driver in front of you to make a mistake and hope that you don't get caught up in it and be able to make that pass.
Yeah, as we ride on board with AJ Stravato, we'll get an idea of what the car is doing, how much steering input he's putting into it. You can see just trying to keep it steady here in the turn and up out of the corner, a little bit of counter steer. And as they go down the straightaway, they are floating the back end of these race cars. And that is a scary feeling. You almost feel entirely out of control. And right there, a little counter steer, trying to keep it pointed in the right direction. AJ right in front of Angelo Ronas. Those two have been battling all race. And AJ sends it in deep into the corner right there. Closes up on Seth Hatchell. But Seth trying to cut down underneath, get a look at the 27. Can't quite do it, but Mayato out in front now, about 0.4 of a second. And kind of maintaining that, like you talked about. You really just got to maintain the gap to the cars behind you. Not smart to drive away here most of the time. A big wiggle by the 27 of Zach Carr as they close up on the 15 of Mark Beverly, the lap machine. Yeah, this is pretty cool to see, nose to tail all the way back to Nick Starling in the 12th position. Dave Fair is the next car back in 13th. He is 2.3 seconds behind Starling. His teammate James Loveland, the Red Speed Machines, 13th and 14th, separated by about 3/4 of a second. And Dallas Sullivan another 3 seconds back. Jimmy Emanuele 16th, 1 more second further back. Jacob Houston still here on the lead lap. Right now 11.2, 11.5 behind the race leader. That car looks pretty good overall. Not too much damage on the right side. Up 14 spots from where he started, so a good performance from Jacob here tonight.
And Adam, I'm just waiting for one of these drivers in this pack to just narrowly touch that wall. They're so close together, nose to tail. If one driver hits the wall, you know it's going to be a domino effect, and there's going to be some significant damage added onto these cars, if not a big wreck.
Yeah, the cars can get like suctioned up to that wall, and that's by nature of just, you've got the wheel turned, that right front tire gets stuck and wedged into the outside wall, and you just can't get off of it. But you can't really get down the racetrack at this place. You want to run up by that outside wall. So yeah, if anything happens, it's going to be a chain reaction, and farther back, these guys could collect some serious damage. Doing a good job so far. Seth Hatchell does look like he's got some good speed in that number 8 car. He's looking to try and make a move at some point here. The 27 of that car has struggled a couple times on this run. And Seth looks like he's keeping the tires on it pretty nicely, running very smooth up by the outside wall. See if he can do anything here. The leader's starting to close up on Dennis Fairclough. I believe that's Dennis. Yeah, it is. 9 laps down, 22nd, and you can see why. He's joined the modified division here tonight.
Without that front bumper, it definitely looks like that, Adam.
But he's getting plenty of airflow to the radiator. So shouldn't overheat, you would think. But who knows how well that radiator is functioning in the first place with that kind of damage. As Hatchell now losing some ground to Zach Carr, but Zach putting the pressure on Alec Martinez for second. This battle going on about 3/4 of a second now behind race leader Keith Mayato.
21 car having some trouble, Alex Pelican. He tapped the wall coming out of 4 and allowed the 6 car of Ryan Gemmel to get right by him, and then the 30 car as well. And he now has another car looking to his inside.
And nearly caught the wall there, and then the 30, I think, scared him a little bit as they went through 1 and 2. But yeah, Chris Samard looking to strike and move up a spot in the top 10. He rides in 10th. But yeah, Alex, he is really sending it into turn 1. You can see how much he gained on Jeremy Miller that time. 2 car lengths. Lap machine of Dennis Fairclough. He'll take it to the apron here and respectfully let everyone on by. Keith Mato, he's starting to scoot away as we're reaching the halfway point of this race. And that 36 car looking pretty good. He was good last week at Rockingham. Things just did not work out at the end of the race for him. The nose to tail for second, and then nose to tail 4th and 5th. That is AJ Stravato closing back up on the 8 machine. He's gotten away from Angelo Ronis, who kind of rides by himself. About 6 car lengths behind the 33 and about 10 car lengths in front of the 6 machine. Yeah, Ryan Gemmel, he's moving forward. After starting 10th, he was back to about 20th at one point in this race, and now up to 7th. So a good drive back forward for Gemmel.
The AJ Stravato tried to peek right underneath that 8 car off that turn too, but not able to get right down to his quarter panel and suck him back, and he's going to fall back in line going into turn 3.
Yeah, almost contact as they work down the straightaway, but Hatchell able to hold on to the spot, and you can see just every time out of these corners, they are wiggling. The back end of that car is not happy with this track temp, with these tires, with this setup. They are sliding even at a real slow speed right now. I mean, this lap time's about 2 seconds off the pace of fresh tires. And this only 22 laps into the run. So, tires are going to be a concern, and you might be able to make up a lot of time short pit, but you will pay for it on the back end of a run. So I don't know what the right strategy calls are. They can go about 40 laps on fuel. They're about halfway through that, so expect these guys maybe around lap 90 or a little bit before that.
I would be expecting them to try and extend this first fuel run of the second stage as far as possible, because we saw it's about 40 laps you get on a fuel run, we've been told, and if you pit at 100, you're going to have to pit again. So they're either going to need to split this into thirds or in half if they can, and I really don't think they're going to be able to split it in half.
Yeah, so from lap 55 or so, well, actually 53 is side by side out of turn 2, the 8 and the 33. That's brought Angelo Ronis right into this battle. AJ backs out of it, knows he's not in the right position to make that move work. And oh, behind them, the 30 of Jeremy Miller sends it in deep underneath Ryan Gemmel, and they touch doors for a moment, and Gemmel still trying to hang on to that spot. We'll see if either of these drivers backs out of it into turn 1. And the 30 ends up backing out. That's going to stack them up just a little bit. Alex Pelican, Chris Samard behind him. And that battle between Hatchell and Stravato sent them so far back off of Zach Carr, a second and a half now, up to third place. As we were talking about the tire and fuel strategy, I think splitting in thirds is really going to be the prime strategy. Still have one set of tires left in case there's a late caution. So if they split it in thirds, we'll see pit stops starting here very soon. Or if they do go pretty deep into this run, we'll see them in about 10 laps, maybe 15 at the most. But Keith Maotto in control, 1.3 seconds the difference back to the 18. Really,
and when you look at battles of attrition like this, you look at drivers like Nick Starling, up from 33rd to 11th. A really good day for him so far, and if he keeps this up, he's going to have himself a solid top 10 tonight.
I know Nick was looking forward to a loose setup like this as he thrives on this kind of racing. And having a strong performance. Another one who tends to like this type of a race, that is going to be Jeremiah Vincent. But Jeremiah, with all that damage, he's now faded back to 8. Still on the lead lap, but about 3/4 of the way a lap down. That car really hurting on the straightaways. But trying to get as many laps in as he can, and doing a really solid job running even far back. Jacob Houston brushes the wall, though, slides down the racetrack. That'll let Jeremiah get one of those spots back. Close call for Jacob Houston as he nearly won it out. A battle potentially developing here. Safe Fair's Josiah Vincent. I think Safe just got past Josiah and now driving away from him. Could be something that develops here in the next few laps if they start closing back up. The Ryan Gemmel and Jeremy Miller still side by side. Gemmel, though, with right side damage. He must have gotten into someone. Yeah, he caught the outside wall there in 1 and 2. Let Jeremy on pass as he completes the move to 7th.
Jeremy Miller, one of those drivers who doesn't have anything really to lose and can pull out something crazy from the playbook. He already has a win this year, the first race of the season at Daytona, and he really can try something different from these other drivers as he's already advanced into the playoffs.
Yeah, so you can definitely throw the book at it and know that, yeah, like you said, nothing to lose. Maybe you can come out of here with either a really strong podium or potentially a win. If you get this strategy just right. And right now he just hanging on to the 7th spot. He is starting to close up, though, on Angelo Ronas, who's really faded again off the back bumper of AJ Stravato and Seth Hatchell. And Jeremy up 2 spots from where he started, in a race winner this try and get another one here tonight. But meanwhile, Keith Maotto out in front. That lead is shrinking as Alec Martinez started to close up, now 0.8 behind. It was over 1.3 before, but they're closing in on the pit cycle. And Alec maybe saved just a little bit too long. We'll see if he can get up to the 36 before they bring it down pit lane. But 32 laps into this run, that seems to be when that 18 comes alive.
Yeah, that 18 car of Alec Martinez always does a really good job at conserving his stuff. You saw earlier in this run, he was trying to make a pass for the lead, but backed off really quickly and was holding the rest of the field up, and it looks like those little bit fresher tires are starting to kick in. And one thing about this track is its pit road entry is very difficult to enter. It's hard to get in quickly, and you can gain a lot of time here on pit road at Darlington. So if Alec can close that gap to Keith Maotto before they even get to pit road, he might be able to cycle out as the leader.
Yeah, and we could see also maybe an undercut. If he was to pit just 1 lap before Keith, he would probably inherit the lead, also knowing how good Alec is getting on the pit lane. Yeah, if he nails that entry and really good outlap, either way, he'll run about 2 seconds quicker that next lap. That can really make the difference. Keith sees that lead slightly shrinking, but they've been pretty close on lap time. Actually, Keith faster the previous lap. So Alec speeding it up and then Keith responding. Is that car really nothing for either of those two? And yeah, nobody bringing it down pit lane just yet, but not too many laps out. As Jacob Houston low on the apron, he may have tire problems. here in the 18th position. He'll go a lap down. Jeremiah Vincent just in front of the leaders as well. He could be looking at going a lap down. James Loveland brings it on the pit road, so he'll start the pit cycle 35 laps into the run, hitting from about the 15th position. Looking for other drivers to follow suit as there goes Keith Maotto. He'll put Loveland a lap down, and if you're not right up here at the front, you're going to lose probably 2 laps, very close to 2 laps on this cycle. As big slide from Maotto. He's trying to hang on to it. Alec Martinez, though, closes up another 2 or 3, now 4 car lengths. They dive in turn 3. The gap under half a second. So Maotto struggling here very late in the run. Alec Martinez starting to reel him back in. Looking for other drivers to bring it down. I don't see anybody else.
Here, the 44 car of Safe Ferris will be bringing it down pit road.
Just makes it onto the pit lane. Good job there doing so. Jacob Houston also pits, but Jacob 1 lap down. Loveland just getting into his... I don't know. He's coming back down, so problems for James Loveland. He may have had a speeding penalty or an unsafe pit entry. He works down the pit lane. And I think actually what may have happened is he might have missed his box. Start service on that race car. Dave Farrer's into his box. So he'll start. I mean, we're used to seeing Safe try some things, and he is often the guy who starts the pit cycle. So we'll see if it works out for him in this case, but pretty far back to start things off. Battle for the race lead, though. 3 car lengths between Maotto and Martinez. Either of these guys going to bring it down just yet. They've only got a couple more laps that they can run under green here before they are going to have to pit. And Martinez trying to get the lead away before they start that cycle. And it's 1 car length now down the backstretch. There's James Loveland and others working up onto the racetrack. Jeremiah Vincent really struggling there. We saw a big wiggle from the 9. He is going to get passed up by James Loveland. Maotto still hanging on. 3 car lengths now, as like things have kind of stabilized between these two. And only 15 cars on the lead lap. It's going to be 14 here in just a minute as Jeremiah Vincent getting ready to be put 1 lap down. Right in front of him, it's going to be Timmy Emanuele as well. As car on pit road, that is Dennis Faircloth going to bring it in for his pit stop. Dennis 11 laps down now. Lap traffic now maybe going to play a role as Maotto in behind Jeremiah Vincent trying to find a way around him. He'll get to the outside. Jeremiah pulls out of the way, but that doesn't help the 36. Here comes the 18, looks to the inside. Sticks back in line, and here comes Jacob Houston on those fresh tires. He might be able to get one of his laps back the hard way.
That 18 at 36 seed the 11 car on fresh tires, and they're just hoping he doesn't try anything too dangerous that could possibly mess their lap up and lose either the lead or the gap that Alec closed on, as Alec just get a little loose off of turn 2. Going into the backstretch, turn 3 and 4, we have Timmy Emanuele, another lap car. Let's see what happens with him as Keith Maotto closes in.
Just 2 or 3 car lengths there, and Alec has kind of he's made a couple of mistakes here trying to chase down the 36. You can see they're struggling on the straightaways now, spinning the tires in 4th gear at 170 miles an hour. That is how loose these guys are at the moment, but still hanging on to it. And look at the big wiggle there by Alec as he corrects back to the right, still sliding down the straightaway. This is crazy. And they are racing for the race lead here. This is very similar to what we saw from the Cup Series earlier in the season with Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson as they were battling, just sliding all over the place. That is a lot of fun to watch. These guys manhandle these race cars. We go on board with Alec to watch him for maybe a few more corners here. Keith Mato looks like he is coming in, so that'll hand the race lead to Alec Martinez. But Keith going to pit earlier and gets on the pit road nicely. Doesn't look like speeding. Very smooth, but maybe a bit conservative. See if anyone can take advantage of that. If anyone else brings it in here, he will be the first leader. Bring it down. No one else going to follow suit for the moment, but Alec Martinez, he'll have to respond quickly. It looks like he is going to do that right away. Down onto the apron, pushing the issue. Able to get it woed up inside the line, but locks up the brakes. Going to be very close there on speed, but he definitely came in more aggressively. That could be the difference, as Seth Hatchell and AJ Stravato will also pit. Jeremy Miller going to stay out along with Zach Carr. Alex Pelican. Ryan Gemmel brings it down. Chris Samard brings it down pit lane. Thea Vincent now also coming in. So quite a few drivers, and Keith Mayato, the first of the drivers to pit, could be in a very good situation. He'll stretch the lead out potentially. Comes into turn 3 and 4. Where is Alec Martinez going to cycle out? They're just working on the left sides. He'll get rolling here off of pit lane. Keith Mayato, though, into turn number 1. Gating up the racetrack. There he goes. He'll go by Alec, but the gap's not going to be quite as large as I thought it would be. It will be bigger than it was before. So there goes Mayato into turn 3. Alec Martinez just getting up to speed now into turn 3. While Angelo Ronis leading, pulls it onto the apron. I think he may be out of fuel or sputtering.
Yeah, it does look like he's out of fuel, but he's going to be able to make it to his pit stall. It looks like it's going to be close, though. Extending that fuel run as long as possible. He is going to lose time, but 50 laps, they're still going to have to go here, and they weren't really quite able to make it to 50 this time. So are we going to be seeing some fuel conserving going on this last run if they want to make it to the end, or are they going to be banking on a caution?
Amy Emanuele, he's gone 48 laps so far, and he is still on the racetrack, has not yet pit. This will be 49 laps, and if he was able to do it on this run, he may be able to do it on the next one. So he could maybe potentially go to the end, but you see right now Mayato and Alec Martinez, they've already driven past him. And there goes Michael Newman, who is a lap machine, to try and get around the 39. So it cycles out Mayato, and then Martinez. Here comes Timmy. Gonna miss pit lane altogether, though. This could be costly if he can't make it back around. This could end his race effectively. He is gonna have to try and limp it back around. Hopefully he doesn't run out of fuel right in front of a leader. But it cycles out Mayato, Martinez, Ferris, Zach Carr, Seth Hatchell. So Seth Ferris hitting much earlier than these leaders. Works his way into the top 5, but he'll get passed up now by Zach Carr. Here comes Seth Hatchell, going to work his way past. Safe already back to 5th and on a worse tire strategy, but he may elect to pit here early, and it could be a net gain overall. We'll have to see how it works. Timmy Emanuele makes it to pit lane. Creeping down pit road right now. He will slide into his pit box to the service of his crew. He'll go a lap down for sure as Mayato now passes him up. Might go 2 laps down. He can make it on one more stop, or this final stop potentially.
Closest battle on track right now between the 37 car and 30 car of Jeremy Miller. 30 car of Jeremy Miller going to look to the inside but fall back in line going into 1 and 2 as they come up on the lap cars of Lyle Solfridge, I believe that is.
Lyle 2 laps down in 18th, just trying to finish this thing out with early issues, but there goes Jeremy Miller to the outside of Chris Samard. And some of these guys, they may be able to stretch it to the end, seeing what the 39 was able to do there. Timmy Emanuele, though, back on the racetrack. He will go a 2nd lap down, but fresher tires to the race leaders. See if he can get one of those back the hard way. That car with some right side damage could be a problem. He did lose a ton of time with missing pit road initially, so it'll be close for Timmy to make it on this run alone. 2 laps down. It could work out for him here. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. These leaders are going to have to pit again. Keith Mato works to the outside of Dennis Fairclough. Will put him another lap down. Dennis, the last car on track, in 21st. Out of the 34 cars that started, only 21 are running, and only 12 right now shown on the lead lap. Josiah Vincent currently in that 12th spot, 26 seconds back. That is how fast these race leaders have been, and everybody else trying to keep up. And Chris Samard in 9th. He is 16 seconds behind the race leader, Keith Mayato. Yeah, no real battles to speak of as Jeremy Miller got around the 37 and drove away. Next closest is Seth Hatchell and Zach Carr, but they're separated by about 10 car lengths. That gap about 0.6 of a second. So everybody just racing it out to the end here. It seems like we're probably going to go green flag racing unless somebody makes a big mistake. We're going to go side by side very quickly here, run a couple commercials from tonight's race sponsor, Shenandoah Shine. Be right back.
Boston Web Marketing is New England's largest full-service web marketing company specializing in SEO, SEM, website design, social media management, reputation management, and more. Founded in 2009, we have rapidly expanded and are able to service small to large clients nationally as well as worldwide. We are a long-standing Google partner with a large team of SEO specialists, certified AdWords professionals, web designers, social media experts, and web marketing gurus. Our team provides excellent, knowledgeable, and highly effective web marketing services. Contact us today to get started. 617-676-8109. www.getfoundquick.com.
Simulators Anonymous is an online gaming community. The heart of this community is playing simulator-style games, everything from driving, farming, flying to the occasional survival game. We would love for you to join us. If you play these style of games, or if you're just looking for a great community, we strive to be a community you can be an active participant in by offering events like every third Saturday night is a late night trucking on Truckers MP. We have a very own Minecraft server with other servers starting soon. Come join Simulators Anonymous today at www.simulatorsanonymous.com.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to present the 2021 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, brought to you by the American Trucking Association, starting January 14th, 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays at twitch.tv/VSpeedSim.
Oh, in contact as we come back from commercial break. Alec Martinez gets put in the wall. That is Angelo Ronas trying to get back on the lead lap. Alec Martinez struggling right here as he caught Keith Mayato from seconds back, and now he's already fallen farther back. Here comes Zach Carr, going to try and challenge for second spot, and now damage on the 18 machine. But we were just discussing it under the commercial break. It looks like Angelo Ronas pit a couple laps later than these leaders in front of him. Might be able to stretch it on fuel. There's a few other drivers that are in that same situation. It looks like Alex Pelican might be able to do it. He's got a lap further to go than Angelo Ronas, but potentially possible from those guys. And then Timmy Emanuele, Jeremiah Vincent hitting the latest. They might be able to just cycle out around, and we'll have to see when the leaders end up pitting. But Keith Mayato now 3 seconds up the road as Zach Carr takes over second, and Alec Martinez fading to third. AJ Stravato another 3 seconds back. He's gotten around Seth Hatchell. This could be a battle here, actually. But Seth right now about 7/10 off the pace of the 33. He's got Timmy Emanuele on those fresher tires behind him. Yeah, it's a mixed bag of strategy right now. The top 5 are all within 6 seconds of each other, and it's another 10 seconds back to Jeremy Miller. Jeremy could maybe stretch it. He's got less distance to go. He'll have to go 49 laps, or maybe it'll be 50 actually once he gets to the finish lap. Right now he's got Ryan Gemmel on his back bumper.
And we were talking about it under commercial break. We really do think that a winner can come from someone who doesn't have to pay anymore and can make it to the end. If they can manage to keep a good enough time down and get in front of that leader who does pit more than likely here before the end of the race, they could have a surprise winner for tonight.
As Alex Pelican going to bring it down pit road. I thought he might be able to stretch it. Looks like he doesn't think so. So he is going to bring it to the service of his crew. Be the first driver to do so for his final pit stop. So we know that Alex Pelican can go the distance from here, but he is going to be at least 2 laps down, and maybe 3 laps down by the time. Now there goes Mayato around him. He'll go a second lap down now. That car is closing up on Keith Mayato. Last time around, they've mirrored lap times, but that distance is only 1.5 seconds. Zach Carr has put the hammer down, and he is trying to close that gap. Mayato might be in save mode right now, really saving hard. That car with 3 laps less to go. But I think both of them, they're still going to struggle to get to the end on that last pit stop. The only car we saw really go that distance was Timmy Emanuele, who had a couple of caution laps to throw in there, and we haven't had that on this run. Here comes Alex Pelican. He's going to try and get one of his 2 laps back. Goes to the inside, and that is the difference right there. The fresh tires, 25-lap-old tires. And it's Alex Pelican, no issue at all. This could end up working out for Alex if he can run enough laps here and pull out the distance from these leaders. And if they go too far, might have this strategy perfect, as he'll go to the inside of Mayato. Go back to 1 lap down, but his concern now has to be a yellow flag flying, displacing him. As another car, Safe Ferris, pulls onto pit lane. Safe pit earlier than everyone. He was not going to make it, no matter how much he saved, so he's going to commit to pit road for the final time in this race.
He almost missed pit road coming down. He just got inside that commitment line, but fell out and was able to just bring the car to a complete stop, actually, and bring it down pit road. He had to throw it in reverse, actually, to make it in. So he's going to lose a lot of time there.
Yeah, that is not ideal. But Jeremy Miller also bringing it onto pit road. We thought Jeremy might be able to stretch it. Guess he thinks he won't be able to. I think we'll see all of these leaders pit. Here comes Alec Martinez. Got the right side damage now after the contact with Angelo Ronis. He'll bring it in. For others, looks like Chris Samard going to come down now. So, yeah, they are splitting this about halfway, 25 laps or so. The leaders at the front now. Keith Mato just 1 second in front of Zach Carr. When did these two pit? This could decide the race. They're pitting soon enough that I don't know if those guys who think they can stretch it will have enough of an advantage. Alec Martinez into his box nicely. And will go a lap down as Mayato and Zach Carr racing through turns 1 and 2. That gap now down to 0.8 of a second. So Zach Carr pouring it on here with less than 30 to go.
Two drivers who have been dead even on speed, it seems, all night. The 33 car of AJ Stravato and 8 car of Seth Hatchell, they've just been right next to each other all race. And they're about 6 seconds behind that leader, and maybe running a little bit slower can save the gas that they need to make it to the end. It seems unlikely, but if these two are able to hold off and save enough gas to make it to the end, we're looking at our 2 possible winners tonight.
Even difficult to do so, but Angelo Ronis feels like he might be able to. He's got 4 less laps to go than those guys out in front. 1 lap down right now. He does have heavy right side damage from the contact with Alec Martinez, and he is struggling at the moment. But when those leaders pit, he should cycle out to be the race leader, assuming all of the cars in front of him do come down. Only 6 now, or 5 cars on the lead lap. Everyone else has pit. Well, that's actually not the case. Josiah Vincent and Dallas Sullivan have not pit, but they are a lap down either way. I don't think they'll be able to stretch it either. But Angelo Ronis looks like he's in save mode right now. As you can see, AJ Stravato closing up on him. Seth Hatchell also closing in. So I think Angelo just trying to make it to the end without pitting again. And that could be a winning strategy. We'll have to wait and find out. Alec Martinez only about 8.5 seconds behind him, and he is good to go on fuel, though. So Alec, you might know something we don't. He might have pit just at the right time. This could cycle out in his favor, too.
And slowly but surely, the battle for the lead is going to be heating up here in a little bit as Zach Carr keeps closing in.
Yeah, Seth Hatchell brings it to pit lane, so he's not going to be able to make it. Josiah Vincent also coming on into the pit road. He's not going to make it, so they will commit for their final pit stop here with just about 20 laps to go. Could see some 2-tire stops, possibly, or splash and go as Ryan Gemmel pulls in as well. Top 3 yet to pit. Also Angelo Ronis, Dallas Sullivan.
Zach Carr misses pit road, and he's going to lose that second place spot, and he's going to have to come back around and actually bring it down pit road again.
As here comes AJ Stravato. Hasn't passed him yet. There he goes with Safe Ferris also trying to work past. Safe 2 laps down at the moment. Should get back on the tail end of the lead lap. Ryan Gemmel, Seth Hatchell into their boxes. Alec Martinez has already passed them. So Alec up to 5th, 1 lap down. Only 2 seconds behind Angelo Ronis. This could work out for Alec Martinez, who pit earlier than these race leaders. And here comes Mayato. He'll bring it to the attention of his crew. AJ Stravato able to get down to pit road speed in front of Zach Carr. They'll bring it to pit road. Alec Martinez now could cycle out as the race leader, but he'll have 6 laps on the tires. How much will that affect him with less than 20 to go? Back onto the lead lap as Mayato still not onto his box. There he is into the pit stall. There's AJ Stravato, Zach Carr, and Alec Martinez down the front straightaway. He's going to cycle out as the race leader. He'll have actually a pretty good gap to the cars behind him, too. Just have to try and hang on for about 15 laps or so. Angelo Ronis back to second, still out there, has not commit to pit road yet. Not going to work out for the 17 tonight. He may still have to make a stop. I think he is doing that right now as we speak. Meanwhile, Keith Mato, he's got to make up 7.5 seconds on the 18 car. Be a tall task. The fresher tires, though, might be enough. 8 laps difference on the tires. He'll have to drive the wheels off of it, though. Only 17 to go. That means he's got to make up almost a half second every single lap, which he's probably going to do here for the first few laps, no matter what. Alec Martinez still running pretty fast lap times. Alec already in turns 1 and 2. Mayato was just coming out of turn 4. Lap times at the line, Alec with a 30.44. Keith working through traffic at 30.15. That Hatchell at 30.0. Hatchell 2 seconds behind Mayato. Could be a little bit too far for him as well. And actually older tires for Seth, but Mayato now able to get that gap under 7 seconds. As they exit turn 4, that time at the line, Martinez a 30.51, Keith a 30.21, so 3/10 right there. He's going to have to go quicker than that. Catch up to the 18. Alec Martinez might have played this just perfectly, pitting earlier. Getting out in front.
Keith Mayato is going to be hounding that wheel and turning this car as much as he can without hitting that wall. And he's closing in, but we don't know if it's going to be enough. It will definitely be close at the end, but if Keith does get to Alec before the end of this race, he shouldn't have too hard of a time getting by him unless if he burned his stuff up just trying to catch up. But like you mentioned, just great strategy call by the 18 car of Alec Martinez. He had that trouble with the 17 car, Angelo Coronis, and that gave him a little bit of damage, but his crew chief pulling out something from the playbook and really coming up big right now, it looks like.
Yeah, 6 seconds or so the difference. He was 6/10 slower on the previous lap. This time around, it is going to be right around 6/10 again. So at that pace, it's going to be very, very close. I think Mayato would get there at that kind of a speed, but how long can he keep the tires on it? And when will they start to equalize? Because what I've seen, they fall off to about the 32-second mark, and it really stabilizes at that point. That fall off is fast, as Jeremy Miller had an issue just I'm not sure what happened, but he's racing up with Zach Carr and AJ Stravato. Jeremy with older tires, he'll fall to 6th. Good race for Jeremy nonetheless. Gap for the race lead now 4.7 seconds is at the line. It was 9/10 faster for Keith Mayato, so it could just be a matter of time. They'll be coming back to 10 to go the next time around.
There's a car sideways on the backstretch. The 2 car of Nick Starling. Is it going to bring out a caution? No, he gets it wound up and it's going to keep it green. That was very close and could have completely changed the outcome of this race.
Yeah, Nick Starling catches the outside wall, sends him down low as he pancakes the inside. We saw another incident just like that with Mark Beverly, and this time though the 2 does not roll up on the speedway and able to keep it down there out of the racing groove. They stay green. The gap now 4 seconds. It's 10 laps to go for Alec Martinez as he crosses the start-finish line. The gap now 3.7 seconds. Mayato continues to click off about 6 or 7 tenths per lap on the 18. Seth Hatchell only 1.3 behind his teammate. Hatchell could come up with a clutch run here at the end. Also, Zach Carr, he's not too far back, but I think it's too far for Zach, who actually, now looking at, he is 3 seconds behind Hatchell. That might not work out for Carr or Stravato. Alec Martinez trying to hang on now, 9 laps to go. The gap is 2.5 seconds. Gonna be close. Mayato's time's falling off, but still 1.1 faster that last lap. And Hatchell about a second faster. Zach Carr 1.2 faster. Stravato 1.3. So they are all closing up, and Alec Martinez, if he doesn't win this thing, he's going to end up right there in the thick of the podium battle. Mayato now under 2 seconds behind. He is closing in, and he is closing in fast. As into turn 1 goes Alec Martinez. There's Mayato now entering. And up against the wall, you can see just visually how much closer he gets each set of corners. How hard is Alec going to make it, though, to make that pass? Is he going to make that car 5 cars wide? Or does he know he's lost this fight potentially and let him go? As now the gap 1 second. It is going to be 7 laps remaining. Keith Mato is just absolutely flying 0.8 faster that time around. Alec Martinez, he might lose the lead before we exit turn 4. Keith will get into his wake here. That'll slow him up a little bit. But you can see just right there how much he closes. And now 1 car length separating the top 2. Mayato getting back to the throttle a bit faster. And Alec spinning the tires out of the corner. Here goes Keith Mayato trying to get the lead back away. And Alec's not going to give it to him. Side by side through 1 and 2. Alec really trying to hang on to that race car. And almost contact, but Mayato able to get the run. Alex spins the tires, almost losing control. Keith Mayato back to the point in the 36 car, 5 laps remaining next time around. Keith Mayato back out in front, clean air. Tire advantage. His race to lose without a huge mistake. Now the battle will be for second. Can Seth Hatchell get there? 5 laps to go. The difference is 0.8 between Martinez and Hatchell as Alec just wheeling this thing up out of the corners. Got to ride on board with him and see what this is like. You got to give him a big attaboy for trying. He tried the Hail Mary, didn't quite work, but he could still come out of here with a top 3 finish, and his first 2 races on the podium potentially could be just an incredible result and a great start to his tenure here in the league.
And hey, the race still isn't over yet. There could be a mistake from one of these other drivers or even the leader himself, and he can still get around and possibly win this race. Right now, the field is pretty spread out, but we do see the 33 car of AJ Stravato catching up to that 27 car of Zach Carr. And also now we do see the 8 car go down to the inside of the 18 of Alec Martinez and make that pass. Not quite yet. Alec gonna have a good run going in the 1 and 2, and Seth's gonna have to fall back in line and try again.
Yeah, he sets up the charge out of turn 2. Alec really manhandling that race car. You can see the wheel, the steering. Oh, and there's contact. 18 up the track. Hatchell backs out of it. Here comes Zach Carr and AJ Stravato. This all going on about 4 seconds behind the race leader. And Alec Martinez just making that thing as wide as he can. Now side by side behind him is Zach Carr and Seth Hatchell. There's not going to be any lifting, I think. But Hatchell does back out a little bit, and Zach Carr moves to 3rd. Hatchell not going to be happy, I'm sure, with the 18 after that. But Zach Carr could try and get up there and battle for 2nd. But Keith Mayato 4.4 seconds up the road, and he is coming back around to the white flag, looking for his first victory here in Season 4 of Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. White flag in the air for Keith Mayato. Zach Carr has gotten past Alec Martinez. The battle could be for 3rd. And here goes AJ Stravato down low, going to try and make that move on Seth Hatchell. Hatchell shuffled back to 5th. Alec Martinez in the 3rd spot, still trying to hang on. Look at him driving that up out of the corner. In the wall. The battle for 3rd, and he's going to wreck. Around goes Stravato. Hatchell into it. Seth Hatchell will get away, and Keith Mayato will win the race at Darlington. As Zach Carr finishes 2nd. Seth Hatchell with heavy nose damage, he'll finish 3rd, and now the battle for 4th between a couple cars trying to get back up to speed. AJ Stravato, Alec Martinez, and they can't even get through the gears. Here comes Jeremy Miller. He's going to shoot right on by both of them. Jeremy up to 4th, and almost Ryan Gemmel getting to that spot as well. Ryan finishes 6th. That's, oh man, what a crazy finish. Alec Martinez finishes 7th after that. What a drive by Keith Mayato, your race winner here tonight.
And it was only a matter of time before Alex Martinez lost control of that car. He was so sideways off of every single turn, and with those drivers right on his panel every single time, it was bound to happen. And it happened twice before. They just managed to keep it straight. And very unfortunate for AJ Stravato to get caught up in that, but he'll still come away with a top 5 tonight.
Yeah, and still a strong result for that number 33 machine. The all-time top 5s leader and wins leader here in the league. Another good result. But Keith Mayato, who has been a hot driver here since he started in the league, he's going to come away with another victory at Darlington now, leading 82 laps on his way. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. Right back with the top 3 interviews. Back at the racetrack now, going to be pulling up our race winner here tonight. Keith Mayato, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Well, Keith, you were right there, chomping at the bit all race long. You ran second for most of stage 1. And, man, once you got control of this race, you did not let go. Leading 82 laps, you were able to hold those guys off, and the strategy worked out. Just give us a rundown of that second bit of the race there.
Yeah, the second half of the race, it was, pulled away quite a bit, and then Alec got on me. It was within like a second. I just burned the right rear off of it, and he was there. But as soon as he got into the dirty air, he fell back. So that helped a little bit. Pitting a little earlier helped. Just to get a little bit of pressure off. And then I don't know what happened with him. He got, I think, tangled up with lap traffic. And then I got dirty air with lap traffic, put me in the wall, and then I hit it again, and that really loosened the car up. It was horrible how loose it was on throttle after that fact, and I didn't think I was going to hang on for this win. The only chance I had was like taking the new tires, which I thankfully worked out, and Zach messed up pit entry there. I think if he got that entry right, he would have been winning it tonight. I don't think my damaged car would have hung on.
Yeah, it was definitely closing up between you two right before the pit stops. And the mistake there by the 27 was one that you didn't make, so that was the difference, really, 5.3 seconds. And it's not like you were slow or anything on this race tonight. Usually we're used to seeing you drive away, especially on the long runs, but it seemed like were you pushing a little bit harder on the short runs tonight? Because it was a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing from you.
Yeah, because I know Alec likes to lay back quite a bit, and I was trying because I've done that too, where you lay back too much and you can never get to that guy or make that pass again. And I didn't want to be in that dirty air because I wasn't in the dirty air on the first run there, and it was so hard to pass. Like you can get a good run down the straights, but to dive it in there and make the pass on the guy wasn't possible. So I just wanted to stay ahead. That was my goal, and it worked out till the end.
Yeah, definitely accomplished that goal. You get the victory here tonight. We go to Las Vegas next week. How do you feel about going out there?
Oh, it should be fun. I usually run pretty well there. We'll just see how the setup works out. I gotta hopefully get a little more practice than I'm usually putting in these weeks, and hopefully make it to the end and have a great battle for the win or something.
Yeah, I know last year you guys, I think it was you and Mark Emerson, I think, were battling for the race win close of that one. So we'll see if you can challenge for another one here and follow up tonight's victory. But you start third, lead 82 laps, and take home the checkered flag. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to Shenandoah Shine for sponsoring the race tonight. Yourself and Zach for doing an awesome job during the VSP broadcast. Everyone below the double yellow, and yeah, that's about it. It was a good night. Good night. It was good to come out with a win for once.
You survived the race of attrition, and a great result for you here tonight with the victory. Congrats again, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, Adam. Have a good night.
Right, and it's Keith Mayato, race winner, the number 36 machine. Let's go to second place finisher. That is going to be Zach Carr. We pull him into the booth with Zach. I believe you're with him.
Hey, Zach, this is Zach up in the VSP booth. Do you have a copy with me?
I have a copy.
Well, a great finish tonight, finishing second, but it's got to be really disappointing for you after making that mistake coming to pit road. Without that mistake, you might have been able to win this race. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, man, it sucks. Darlington's one of my worst tracks, and I know Alec was probably the fastest one out there, and Keith as well. They really knew what they were doing, but I learned in another league race here that if you pit later than the guys in front of you, no matter how far off you really are on pace, you're gonna run them guys down over the long run. So, I seen Keith pit, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can get one more lap after Alec. Alec pit, and I was able to make one more, and I was two ahead of Keith, and Alec ended up hitting the wall and getting some stuff. So, I kept getting closer and closer to Keith, and then finally once I got there, I heard people were pitting in the back, and I was trying to talk with my teammates AJ and Jeremy and Angelo, and them trying to figure out, hey, what do we do here? And finally, like down the back entering 3, I get told that we should probably pit right here, and it was just too late. We were on old tires. The pit entry here is a pain. And it was just too late, and I made the mistake. I'm just lucky to come out of it with a P2.
Yeah, second place finish after a big mistake like that really is something to be proud of. A lot of times we see drivers miss pit road and end up falling all the way to the back of the field because they just can't get it going again. So great job there, and I'm sure very tiring and led to that mistake. We saw how sideways this car was getting. Can you describe how the car was handling tonight?
Oh, I would say it was awful. You'd get off into turn 1 and it would plow tight until you get over a couple of the first bumps, and then it just instantly snap back to the looseness all the way from the center to the off turn 2. I mean, it'd be kind of the same situation 3 and 4, of course. It'd be really tight about entrance to center, and then once you get to that center, it goes complete opposite to the sideways. It was just it was hard to drive. Back to what you were saying though about the pit thing. Yeah, I know. Well, I think what really saved me time was when I realized I missed it. It was right when I went to the outside of that cone. Most people don't realize you have to be underneath that cone, and they lose more time because of it. I knew instantly that once I was past that cone, it was done. I had to floor it and get back going.
Well, great spatial awareness from that. Again, getting up to second place from that, really impressive. Big mistake, and just coming back to that is really, really good by you, and really keep up with the points and make your way towards the playoffs. I know we're only at the beginning of the season, but a second place finish can really help you out. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to here tonight, Zach, after a great finish?
Well, shout out to you guys, of course, for the broadcast. Shout out to the race sponsors and league sponsors. Shout out to the guys that run the league. Shout out to my teammates, Jeremy, Angelo, and AJ for sticking with me for the long run of that race. help me out, give me some advice on what to do line-wise, because like I said, I was lost tonight for most part. Also, thanks to Eric and my other teammate, Reggie. Unfortunately, I got caught up in some stuff early, but big thanks to teammates, big thanks to you guys, big thanks to the sponsors, and big thanks to everybody that puts us on.
Well, thank you very much, Zach. We look forward to speaking to you again.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good night.
That was Zach Carr, second place finisher here tonight. Let's go to third place now. That is going to be Seth Hatchell. Pull him in the booth. Seth Hatchell, Adam, in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Seth, you had a shot at second place here. You came right up behind Alec Martinez, and it kind of got crazy from there. Describe that last little battle and surviving the chaos there on the backstretch.
Yeah, I caught Alec at a bad spot. He was obviously hoping for a caution or something there. He was on a lot older tires. And when I got to him, I got him in the middle of 1 and 2 and had to try and generate a run and just couldn't get enough of a run. And then we were side by side for about a lap. And then I think the next lap we almost wrecked going into 3. He was all over the place on old tires, understandably. And that allowed 2 guys behind to catch up. And then at the end there, just getting out of the way of the wreck. So happy to come away with a third place finish.
Yeah, definitely a strong performance from you here tonight. You were up there in the top 5 basically all race long, and we saw drivers just really struggling. The car, obviously super loose, the track temp really high tonight. How did it feel to you, and was there anything you were trying to do to keep the tires on it throughout the race?
Yeah, it was definitely really loose. I did some pretty long runs in practice and never even got that loose. I was pretty surprised. I had been pretty tight in practice, but in years past, I've been able to run the wall all the way around 3 and 4, and that usually helps me a lot. And I just couldn't do that tonight. It was just really tight coming off of 4 if you stayed on the wall, but really loose if you stayed on the bottom. So I don't know what I needed to do different there, but need to do a little bit something different because Keith and Carr definitely had it figured out there.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy seeing kind of the comers and goers, and obviously a race of attrition. Only 9 cars finished on the lead lap. So you survive to the end here. You get a podium finish, and we head to Las Vegas. How do you feel about going out there?
Really excited for that. The race last year, I know a lot of people struggle with the setup, but I think it was one of the best setups I've ever driven. I was really happy with the way it drove. So really excited for that. It's got a decent amount of banking, but it still gets fairly loose with these cars, even with the big spoiler. So really excited for that.
Yeah, it should be a fun battle. Lots of 3-4 wide action probably. And it's been a great start to the season for racing here in this league. A lot of fun watching you wheel it out there tonight. Come home with the podium finish. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Got to thank Shenandoah Shine for the sponsor tonight, and all the sponsors of the league for letting us do what we do. Nick and all the admins are doing a good job putting on the races. All the drivers for putting on a good race, and my team V-Speed.
Awesome, Seth. Well, congrats again on the P3 here tonight. We'll catch you next week at Las Vegas.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, last year's champion Seth Hatchell coming home P3. Take a look at the rest of the results here tonight. Head on out. Winning tonight's race after 6 cautions there, all in the first stage, none in the second stage. 7 total lead changes. Mayato comes away with the win over Zach Carr, who narrowly avoids the accident on the backstretch. Seth Hatchell finishes in the 3rd position. Jeremy Miller ends up finishing 4th after just getting past all of that at the start-finish line. AJ Stravato finishes 5th. Ryan Gemmel comes home in 6th. Alec Martinez, after a strong run, will finish in 7th after winning the stage. And then Chris Samard finishes in 8th. Alex Pelican finishes 9th. And Safe Ferris rounds out the top 10, even with his mistakes late in the race as well. In 11th, it was Angelo Ronas. 12th was Josiah Vincent. 13th, Dallas Sullivan. Nick Darling, after spinning late, will finish in 14th. James Loveland finishes 15th. Timmy Emanuele finishes in 16th. Jeremiah Vincent finishes 17th. The 70 machine of Lyle Sulfridge finishes 18th. 19th was Dennis Faircloth. Rounding out the top 20 tonight is Jacob Hughes.
Finishing in 21st tonight will be the 12 car of Michael Newman. In 22nd, we have Garrett Wolfenbarger. 23rd, Mark Beverly. 24th, Zach Smith. 25th, Reggie Ortega. 26th, Bradley Wilson. 27th, Alan Dice. 28th, we have Eric Lambert. 29th, Joshua Abbey. 30th, Eric Hutton. 31st, Anthony Pelican, 32nd, Tony Baird, 33rd, Lane Solfridge, and in 34th, Cody Atkins.
Yeah, rough race for some of those guys there at the tail end of the field, getting taken out very early in tonight's race, but not a rough race for Keith Mayato, who came out with the checkered flag. And a pretty interesting one here with all that chaos in stage 1. These guys survived to the end and come away with a pretty exciting finish, I would say. Yeah, Las Vegas is up next. Any final thoughts before we head on out for the night, Zach?
Just a great race in general, especially after that first stage. These drivers really got things settled out and put on a great show for us tonight. And we've seen some very common mistakes happen, like missing pit road. We've seen the Cup drivers do it, and we see them do it here tonight in BTDY. Just a great finish, though, overall, and really looking forward to next week at Vegas.
Yeah, should be a fun one there. And if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, of course, consider following or subscribing right here on YouTube. You can check us out at all these different social media outlets: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, where we post race announcements before we go live. You can also check us out at bspeedsim.com to see what we have to offer over there. I want to thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow night with the Virtual Racing League, and we'll be back with these guys next week on Tuesday. So thank you so much. Have a great night.